Hello, this is a short video to help you in your independent job search and your job search GeorgianConnects. I just want to show you how I would break down a job posting and prepare my resume using a sample posting from GeorgianConnects. This is for a junior website developer at Intercom in Collingwood. And the first thing I want to draw to your attention is in yellow right here. It tells you only Canadian citizens or permanent residents are eligible to apply. So if you're an international student, that means you cannot apply for this because of the way that the position is funded. So when you see this sort of thing, just if you're an international student, you aren't able to apply, but we'll just use this as an example to help you. So the first thing that I recommend you do, this may seem obvious, is read the posting carefully. There's a lot of clues in the posting that tell you what the employer is looking for. And really, this is your only indication of what they're looking for. You aren't going to have a conversation with them before you apply. So you really want to review carefully what they're looking for. So we're going to jump down to job requirements, but I recommend you read everything. Why? Because sometimes there'll be hidden pieces in the actual description of the job that aren't captured in the job requirements. But let's start by looking here. The first thing we're looking for is, what are you required to do? And once again, you're legally able to work in Canada. They don't say here you need to be a Canadian citizen, but remember they did specify that up there. The second thing is they want you to have experience working in a related role, but they mention it is an asset. So also remember that when employers are posting on GeorgianConnects, they know that they're posting for students. They realize that students may have limited experience in this field, but they also know you're studying courses, you're doing projects, and some of you may have some experience, either volunteer or paid, already behind you. So do your best to show what you can do and don't focus so much on what you cannot do. The employer isn't really interested in knowing what you can't do. They want to know what you can do. And they also want to know if you're qualified for this job. So your entire focus in creating your resume and your cover letter is to target this position. So that means you might need to change your resume, and you definitely want to change your cover letter to suit this posting. So even if you've applied to 5 other web design positions, I still recommend that you review the posting and match it to your resume. So they want you to say, if you're excited about web development, this is not a skill. It's not a skill to be excited or to love something. This is about what you're passionate for. Are you passionate about web design? If this is something you would do for free, or you already have done it for free, just for fun to figure things out, that is excitement and that's passion. And that sort of thing would go into your cover letter. In your resume, you want to focus on the skills. They do mention though WordPress, PHP, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you should also mention those things and make sure you spell them right. HTML should be all in capitals. JavaScript is a capital J and a capital S, and it's one word with no spaces. And I recommend you spell JavaScript in full, just in case. My daughter's initials are JS, so I might not know for sure that JS is also JavaScript. They want to know if you have some PHP and MySQL experience. If you don't, put on what you do have experience with and leave out what you do not have experience with. But I also recommend, if you don't know what some of these things are, I mean, I even know what WordPress is, and I am not a computer studies student, but maybe I don't know what Shopify is. If you don't have that experience, maybe you have something like that, similar. So do a little bit of Googling to figure out what it is, and then see if you can match to something you do have if you don't have the same thing. So for example, if they want you to be able to run data queries and you've never done that before, but you have used Excel a lot, then you can still talk about your experience with Excel. What you're trying to say is, I may not know it, but I'm fast at learning and I'm excited about this job and I will do it for you. Okay, you're selling yourself a little. Next, good understanding of standard development environments. What does that even mean, Beth? I don't know is my answer. I don't know what that means. So again, you're going to have to do some research. Maybe if you read the previous section, it will explain to you what a standard development environment even is. I don't know. So if you don't know either, you need to figure it out. It's really up to you to do the best you can to try and cover the majority of things they're looking for. This posting is a picture of their perfect candidate. It is not trying to say if you don't have all of these things, every single thing, that they will not even look at you. Not the case at all. They're looking for the best candidates out of the group that will apply. There's going to be things that they haven't put in this posting that they're also looking for, and that's where you kind of want to read between the lines. So what would I do? I would go over to a piece of paper, and I usually write this out by hand, but just so you can see what I would do, I put it on a Word document. So in soft skills, I've really got nothing so far. We're going to go back and look at that, and you can see I made a spelling mistake, so you can watch me correct my spelling mistake. So we already know they want HTML, they want JavaScript, they want PHP. I also saw MySQL in there, and I also saw, whatever that thing was that I can't even remember. Okay, so write it down, and then it's very satisfying to go back and tick it off. Aha! Look at this one, excellent and demonstrative, which means you can prove that you've done it, problem-solving capabilities. So these guys write very, very wordy job descriptions, but problem-solving. Okay, so if you've worked in customer service or you've worked in any kind of retail environment, you can problem-solve. If you have served coffee at Tim's, you have seen the grumpiest people at their worst. You can problem-solve for a web design company. You probably could problem solve for anybody, anywhere, anytime. Saying. Okay, so task estimation and prioritization skills means time management. So if you work for Skip the Dishes, you totally can do time management, because you're not going to drive to the far south end of Barrie and then all the way back up to the north end with an order that's going to get cold. You're going to be strategic in picking up and dropping off in a certain type of order to keep the food from getting cold, and also to not waste your gas, right? So time management's another thing. Okay, so now here is another little trick. I've written the words problem solving and time management on my list just to jog my memory. But when I look at my resume, I'm going to look at the words they've used. So they didn't say time management, they said task estimation and prioritization skills. So I'm going to use these words in my application, in my resume, and in my cover letter. I'm going to talk about times I've estimated the amount of time it takes me to do a task, and I have prioritized. See what I did there? Okay, so continue on reading, and if I'm just skimming this, I can see there's yet more short forms. AODA means accessibility guidelines. SEO, right? Search engine optimization. UI, UX, a lot of technical jargon, but there's not a lot of soft skills. So this is the next trick I'm going to show you. We're going to look here at their description, and I'm not going to read it all online here right now for you. Clearly, you're not going to want to watch it, but what are they saying? They want a results-driven, organized individual. Okay, they need me to talk about being organized. Let's do it. Okay. I've got to show how I'm organized. Great, I can do that. Okay, perfect. I'm going to go back here now. What else? Do they talk about team, for example? Communication. Ah, yes, you'll be working in a virtual entrepreneurial environment. So that means you're working remotely, probably, and entrepreneurial means they have to work hard for their money. They are probably a client-based business. So they might be looking for you to be efficient, good at time management, but also excellent communication and customer service skills, and really reliable, because if you're working on your own at home, they don't want you to be on, well, it's not going to be Facebook, on TikTok the whole day or playing that game that you just bought yesterday. They want you to be doing your work. Okay, so then the next step, and I will show you that in another clip in a minute, is to now match your match your job description to your resume. I'll show you that in another clip. This was presented by your Computer Studies Co-op team. Please book an appointment if you have detailed questions or send us an email.